What's up, everybody? Welcome to Untamed and Unhinged Reptile Podcast. Today we got a hognose keeper slash breeder. His name is John, and they're called KaizenHogs. Um, I'll be bringing him out here in a bit. For right now, we have nothing with US Art. Still fighting for us, fighting for our privilege to keep our reptiles. That being said, I'm going to bring on John. Let's go. Oh, we have a special guest, co-host.
Hey, how you doing today?
Hi.
Yeah, she's always in the show, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to bring her up because she's always here, support, watching everybody.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
So go ahead, John. Tell us
How
about
are you
yourself,
today?
what you work with. What's up,
Hey
Enchanted
guys,
Hogs?
my name's John. I own KaizenHogs, formerly known as Jungle John Exotics. Me and my wife decided to change the name just recently, but we're hoping to be a future hognose breeder. And right now I guess you could say, a big hobbyist. And that's us. We're trying to keep it simple, just hognoses.
Okay. And what made you pick hognoses over bog pythons and the other species and everything
Uh,
else like that?
Hognoses are just awesome. Um, the honest truth, I was never planning on being like a breeder or anything. I just wanted to get back into snakes, and I was looking around, and I ran into hognoses, and the first thing I ran into was a leucistic hognose, and I was like, man, that snake is so awesome. I have to have it. And then I saw the price, and I was like, no, that's just crazy. And after a month or two of thinking about it, I said, hell, Fed, I'm getting one. And so we got a leucistic hognose. That was the first hognose. And, you know, there was lots of other snakes I liked, but I just kept coming back to that hognose. And the leucistic hognose just had me. So I wound up spending the money on it. And after that, they're like, and you just keep getting another one and another one and another one. And next thing you know, you got too many.
For real. You're not even like, hold on.
Yeah. And
Banna, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask. Just let me know.
All right, thanks.
Okay?
It's hard not to stop once you start, right?
True.
yeah.
That's true. That's true. So what motivated you to do what you do? I
Well,
think you froze.
so
Oh,
like I said, we're hoping to be breeders. Still there?
yeah. Now you're good. Now you're
Okay,
good.
cool. Like I said, we're hoping to be breeders. We are in the process of doing our first year of breeding multiple females that we have bred. We've ran into some issues in the way, so it's learning steps. We try to as much as we can. We've read as we can. We have all of the book knowledge I can find out there, and now we're just hands-on experience. But yeah, we really just want to focus on hognoses and make some really awesome morphs and be good at it and just be known for hognoses. And it all started with that first snake. And we decided to do the hognoses after being in the hobby for a few years and fell in love with them. And we decided to a lifestyle change, and me and my wife actually completely changed our lifestyle and have gone 100% towards hognoses as our future. So we are trying to do this correctly.
Hell yeah.
Where are you
I
from
really do like
exactly?
who, me or
What
John?
was that?
John, where are you from exactly?
She's asking where you're
So I'm
from.
from Louisiana, but yeah, I'm from Louisiana, but we actually are in the process of moving to Mississippi. With that lifestyle change, we sold off the property we had. We had a little over an acre with all kind of different exotic animals and stuff. We actually are in the process of selling that property now, and we bought a house in Mississippi. So when we moved, we decided to not focus on so many different animals, and we're primarily focusing on hognoses. Now, we still have like a dog, a cat, a bird, a bearded dragon. We have, personal animals. and then we have the hognoses, and those are my personal animals. My wife
Gotcha.
does have one. She walked in and said, "I have to have this snake," and we got it. So
That's awesome. So does your wife help you like with the hog noses, cleaning racks and stuff like
uh,
that?
I'm primarily doing it mostly myself. She does help me, and as we get larger, she will help a lot more. Um, but we've strived to make it as simple as possible by buying good racks and doubling up on bowls and hides. So we're not just cleaning one bowl and putting it back. We pull all the bowls, put all new bowls in, go clean all the bowls at one time. Same with the tubs on the racks. We have enough that we can pull all the tubs, swap the snakes over, go clean all the tubs. So by doing it that way, it's cut a lot of time out, um, and it's been manageable just to do it myself. But she is going to help with all that, yes. And we spot clean daily. I'm in here daily, and we clean constantly.
My nephew. What's up, Carissa from Bohemian Exotics? And John, do y'all only have Instagram right now?
We have Instagram and we do have Facebook. We have Morph Market also set up. There's some tortoises up there, but we will have that hopefully at the end of the year with some hog noses if we get good eggs and everything.
Okay, so y'all breeding or do y'all plan on breeding?
So we are currently breeding hog noses. I have 5 females that potentially could have clutches soon. I actually have one that should be laying right now. I had one female that was supposed to be laying. However, I think we missed the ovulation. So
Uh,
she's probably going to go to the next ovulation. And then I have one female that was supposed to be laying eggs, but something has went wrong and she's holding the eggs still. She's at day 17. So we're just keeping an
Damn.
eye on that and we'll see what happens. And then I got 2 more females that should be coming up shortly.
So what more? So what are the projects you're working with right now?
So I'm working
If
with a
you
lot
want to
of
tell us.
projects. Yeah, I'm working with a lot of projects. There's no hidden secrets. I have a few snakes I don't talk about, but it's morphs that everyone's trying to work with. Right now, I'm hoping to get eggs from a um, sunburst, and then a super Arctic clutch, and then we also have a snow clutch. We have another snow clutch. That's the one we missed the ovulation on. And then we have a pink pastel. That's the one that's retaining eggs. We're also at the end of the year going to be breeding our leucistic, and we'll be breeding another sunburst.
And I was like, did you want to show any of them or?
Yeah, I can show. Let's see. Well, let's start off with my favorite snake. This snake is the snake that's on our
Logo?
logo. Yes. This is a super Arctic leucistic. This was produced by JMG Reptiles.
Oh my God. Yes, I know what you're talking about, JMG. Jeff.
Yeah, he's pretty much, Jeff is pretty much the #1 guy in hognoses. If you don't know Jeff, you should know Jeff.
He's
He
actually in my
produces.
he's in my Discord.
Yeah, he's in all that
Yeah.
stuff. So this
I've
is
seen him on a
my
few
favorite
lives.
snake. This is my
Yeah,
favorite snake.
Is that the one
he's
that
been on with
got
me
you
a few
into all
lives.
this?
And
Yeah,
next,
that's the one that got him into all of this. That's the one on the logo too. That one's gorgeous.
so that's actually my second one. This is the one that got me into it. This was my first snake right here. She's acting like a little cobra right now. So this is a standard leucistic. Sorry, I'm not used to where that
That's a good
camera's at.
question, Carissa. It's a question for you, John.
Have you found that breeding and raising hogs is easy, or do you find it can be difficult? You know, I personally find hog noses are pretty easy. With any animal, you're going to run into problems that you need to learn and figure out how to deal with. The first thing is, with hog noses is feeding babies. A lot of them can be a little reluctant to eat frozen and thawed right away. But if you work with them, they'll take it. Now, when it comes to something like that, if you're new to hog noses, buy one from a good breeder who is
Hmm.
holding that baby, 3, 4, 5 months to make sure it's eating good. Someone like Jeff from JMG or John and Mitch from Fathom Hogs, you're going to get a better baby that's eating, and you're not going to have questions. If you get a baby that's only 4, 6 weeks old, you're going to run into more issues. After that, they're pretty easy.
I actually bought a baby that
I
was
haven't
like
run
6
into
weeks old.
Yeah, they can do great, but you're more likely to run into issues. Now, if you buy one at 6 weeks old and it's strong feeder and stuff, like I have gotten some really young ones from breeders that feed great, and it's no issue. Let me put this girl back; she don't like it. But yeah, I mean, you can get young ones that do great, but when you're not sure, it's always best to go with something that's a little bit older.
So this is him. I bought him at 6 weeks old, but this is him now. And he
Blow yourself
gives me a
up.
hard time about eating too.
What type is he?
There's a Bino, just a albino Western.
Yeah.
My female, she's the extreme albino.
So
show me full screen.
My males give me a harder time to feed. They like to go more like 10 days when eating, but the males usually don't give me any issues.
See, the male's super orange. The female's like a red orange. Look, hold on.
Are those pink pastels the ones that are actually pink?
Yes, they are pink. And actually,
So here's the female.
I've seen some in Snake Discovery's videos.
And then here's the male. See the female
Are those
darker?
the same, you said?
That's a really nice pair.
No,
Yeah.
the female, she's extreme red, and she's way bigger than him. She's already eating baby chicks. So, and then the male is like the orange looking one over here, one I'm shaking, and then this one. So, yeah, these are my babies. I love them.
You just got the one pair?
Yeah, I only got one pair, and this is what I'm gonna work with. So, this is like my whole life. I've wanted an albino hog nose. I was like, I'm gonna get a pair, and that's it. So I got the albino male, and then the extreme red albino female. Says I absolutely bought one for my son at an expo. We cannot get him to eat. It ruined me on them, but they are so cute. Oh, I'm sorry, Carissa, but yeah, when hognose are hard, they are kind of hard to get to eat. But if you put like, so I found out if you use like sardines, like fish smell juice, and dip the rat in there, they'll eat. I'm sorry, what? Go ahead.
So when you're buying one, just ask your person you're buying it from how well they eat, if it's a good one, because like you'll get some like this one I'm holding in my hand eats anything, and actually I gotta be careful because she will constantly bite me if I let her. This is a PPA, pink pastel.
They're I'm loving your setup, John. They're loving the setup. and I love that.
Oh yeah, the ARS racks. The
Yeah,
ARS.
I was about to ask if those were ARS. I'm not used to seeing the
Yeah,
clear
so these
tubs
are
like that.
ARS racks, and these are the 5520s. I went with the 20s that are only 2 columns because I want to check. I always get them through doors and stuff if I ever need to take them out.
Are those
So
clear
I
ones?
just spent a little bit more just so I could have them separated like that. These are the clear ones. So,
And I love the clear ones, and that's exactly what I
these are
want to
the
get
clear
for.
tubs.
Yes.
Yeah, and then on mine, I wrapped the last third with black vinyl, and then I put extra air holes, and then I put a clip on the front, and that just holds my my name tag that I made for each snake.
Wait, so you made the air holes, or they came with the air holes?
I made the air holes. Just used the
Oh,
drill
okay.
bit and made a template out of wood, and then you drill them all. And then my tags are just a carabiner, and then a plastic credit card, and then you just put whatever information you want on it.
That's
So
awesome.
simple. And then what I do is any type of snake moves, like for instance, if it goes to brumation, or if the snake is moved to another bin, or if a male is moved in with a female, the tag is moved with them. So wherever this tag is, the snake is there. You can have females eat males. So if I have a male tag in a female enclosure and the male's not in there, well, we know where he went.
Oh my god, that sounds so horrible, but I mean it's true.
It's true. And that way you don't got to question it. It didn't get out or anything.
Like no, the female ate them.
Yeah. And then I actually made a video just yesterday on Instagram
They're
showing these gray dots I have. I think you can see them from here.
Oh, the magnets. Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that video.
Yeah. So I painted the magnets to have different colors, and you flip them over for feeding, for shed. Orange is whenever I put a dropped mouse in there so I don't forget about it. And then blue is when they go in shed.
Yeah, but you feed
And,
frozen, right? You don't do
I
live.
can always check them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, so they're asking, has that
I've
happened?
seen
Like
people
where
do the.
the
Sorry,
no, go ahead, Banna.
I've seen people do the Velcro, like kind of similar like that, but with Velcro instead of it being magnets. So, but that's a smart idea. I haven't started doing any
Yeah,
of that
the
yet.
only thing I give people advice when doing the mags is when you spray paint them, let them dry for like a week. If you don't let them dry and make sure they're fully dry, they'll stick to the rack. And you can get them off. It's just a pain in the. So it's best to just let them dry before you put them on.
What's up, Lakers? What's going on, guys? What's up, everybody coming in? Ah, my buddy always calling me back. My buddy's calling me right now. I'm sorry. I had a phone call. So I just want to play around here, John. Remember what we talked about backstage? I'm pretending I'm a kid asking questions about like hog. Like, how could you sell me on a hog? What would you say about them?
Okay, yeah. So I mean, hognoses are great. First off, you got to talk to every person when they come. Um, I've never vended selling hognoses yet. I will eventually one day. However, if someone new was to come up to me and ask me why should they buy a hognose, the honest truth is they're great snakes. If you want a smaller one, you can get a male, and this is almost a full-grown male. If you want a little larger one, you get a female. Uh, Once you get them established, they're great, easy snakes. They don't take
Mm-hmm.
crazy setups. They don't take high like misting or fogging or anything. You can set them up fairly easy and maintain them fairly easy. They come in awesome colors. There's a lot of different morphs, lots of new morphs always coming out, kind of like the ball pythons. So you're not just stuck with one color. I like natural colors in most snakes, but I also like seeing all of the genetic diversity and morphs created. And the hognoses have that, you know. I was actually making a list, and I think I had it up to 27 different combo named morphs out there, and there's probably more. I just don't know them. Um, but they're great. You can get all kind of different colors. You know, if you want blue, you get blue. If you want purple, purple, pink, white. People are working on getting a solid black one, but there's the Swiss chocolates, which are very dark.
Yeah, I like those too.
Yeah, and then you can get like the black and white ones, and there's just so many different cool aspects. Um, and they're not really a snake that's going to bite you. You know, I only have one out of my whole collection that I would even say is aggressive. Now, I have many females that will bite you on a feeding response. And that's because they're not handled a lot. And when I open it, they think I'm feeding them. However, just like you saw that last one, the PPA, she's a very aggressive feeder. Once she realized I wasn't feeding her, she wasn't going to bite me. Um, so as long as you take that in consideration, they're most likely not going to bite you because of their rear fangs. They don't want to hang on, so they'll headbutt you a lot, but that's
Hmm.
about it. And then if they do bite you, unlike a lot of species that are very difficult to get off, and you got to use like credit cards and stuff, these guys just have that little rostral scale on the nose. It's like a can. You just pull it back, and they come right off.
Actually, back then, you know, I'm gonna say this because back then, when I was like got my first hognose snake, it was just a western, the brown one, the regular, you know, the normal. And
Yeah,
then,
normal.
like a couple years later, it was the albino one. I was like, holy smokes! You know, back then it was only that and the albino. I've never seen nothing else till recently. So I got on here, you know, started interacting like with Jeff or with other hog nose breeders. I don't know if you know them, mellow hogs, miracle hogs.
Yeah, Brandon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those guys are awesome.
yeah,
Which, you know what? I should do like a whole nother podcast of just hog no breeders and let them host that. That'd be dope.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. Hognoses, I honestly think I'm gonna say they're like the new ball python, even though I don't think they'll ever get to ball python status, where there's like 50,000 of them on Morph Market. You know, uh, normally there's like 1,800 hognoses on Morph Market, but I do believe that they're getting the morph combinations and the status, and they're cute, so they're getting a lot of popularity from all that. So I think they will blow up and continue to blow up, and they will continue to get more and more.
oh wow, look, enchanted hogs. I
Hey, Enchanted Hogs, how you doing
actually,
today?
you know what? I didn't even think about that. We were doing a hog nose podcast, and I have their shirt. I could have worn a hog nose shirt, but yeah, I'm rocking FNA. The I don't know if you know FNA balls, but yeah, it's Fred and AJ.
No, I don't know them.
Yeah, they're
I
awesome people.
I unfortunately I have a hard time remembering people, so I'll meet a lot of people and then I'll forget them. And there's not much space left up here, so
It's hard to
Yeah,
always
remember
got to
names on top of
reintroduce and
business
relearn
names
people.
sometimes.
it's funny because I only remember business names.
Yeah,
I've been like, "You're KaizenHogs." Oh yeah, or you know, or like when I met who was it? When I went to the reptile expo, DNT Retics, I think it was, and I ran up to the table and I was like, "You're DNT Retics." They're like, "Yeah, we're Dax and Taylor." And I was like, "DNT Retics, nice to meet you." You know, because I'm not gonna, I don't remember names well. But then once I kept talking to them, yeah, I was like, "Oh, Dax and Taylor, what's up?" You know,
Yeah.
what is this? Hog Nose Podcast FTW. Oh,
yeah.
Hog
I
Nose
worked
Podcast for the win.
retail for well over 6 years, and I remember faces. So customers would come in, I remember the face, and I would remember some names, but it was the face. I could remember a face, but names they always get me.
Yeah, I would see a face too. Like So I used to work at a gas station, and I was a manager there. It was a Shell, and every time the customer come in, I already knew what she was gonna get. She always got cigarettes and coffee. So I already knew what cigarettes she liked. So that's how I remembered her was the cigarettes, and then her face every time she came in. I was just like, oh, I got you. What is that?
Yeah, I mean that's what you do. You remember what they need and stuff, and remember who are by the products that they get.
I didn't realize how
Here is a
small
Arctic
hognose
lavender.
babies was until I went to Tinley. They're a lot
What?
smaller than I said. I didn't realize how
Oh
small
yeah,
hognose babies was until I went to Tinley.
Oh, I was like, I
yeah.
could barely hear you though, Banna.
You know, it's not uncommon for a breed to have 4 and 6 gram hog noses.
Oh, so yeah, that's
I'm
what I
trying
was
to remember who
saying.
it was. Someone hatched a hog nose. Someone hatched a hog nose that was, I think, like 1 gram, 2 grams, and it probably didn't live, unfortunately. But I think they're claiming it to be the smallest hog nose. I'm trying to remember what it was. But yeah, you can get some really small hog noses, and you got to start them off on some really small food, usually just like pinky head something. Uh, really, I haven't, had to deal with that yet, just because I haven't bred and hatched any. I'm hoping to do that this year, but hopefully I'll have big, strong eggs and hatch, robust 8 to 12 gram babies. At least that's the goal.
Jermaine from showing those hogs, and it did like.
So,
Uh,
can you mix Eastern and Western? How does that work?
Well, Eastern and Western are 2 different species. They're not going to crossbreed or anything like that. Um, Eastern are actually native to where I live, and people come across them quite often. I have no dealings with them. Even though they are a hognose and they have some striking color, there's some really cool ones. Even the melanistic ones are really neat in the Easterns. I never got
mm-hmm.
drawn to them. I always have been drawn to the Westerns. Like people will show me Easterns, people will show me Mexicans, and even the Madagascar species and things, and which I don't even consider those really hog noses. But they don't do nothing for me. I'm all for the Westerns, and not saying there's anything wrong with the Easterns or anything, but they are more difficult. I know that, and I can tell you that they're pretty much most of the time amphibian only eaters. So you better raise frogs and tadpoles and stuff to feed them. But the
Do
Westerns
they
are so
have the
much
same
easier.
morphs?
No, they do not have the same morphs. There's a lot less
Those are
morphs
good
of the
questions, Banna.
Easterns. Yeah, and the Easterns have a complete different patterning, I would say. I hesitate to say that. I will say that they just have a difference to their patterning. Um, the color like lays behind almost like tiger stripes every time I see. No, they don't have the same morphs. They're just completely different. What
Gotcha.
is neat about them is when they flare their necks out like little, they flare very large, almost I would say twice as large as the Western.
And you know how you said that when you're female, like the females are responsive, like aggressive
Yeah.
eaters? Well, my female, she is. Like as soon as I open the tub, and I take her out, and even though I take her out, she knows either I'm coming in to take her out or I'm coming in to feed her. So when she hits my hand, she does the little cobra thing, like you know. But other than that, she's good. Like, I've never
Yeah,
been bitten by her
and
or
they
anything.
learn.
Now go ahead.
Let me see. I got another one to show y'all.
I thought, I thought you were gonna say something, John. I'm sorry, but yeah. Other than that, like, yeah, she's a good either. But the male is the one I was telling you I bought, and he was like 6 weeks old, and he's been hard like to get going. So that's why it was like I either put him in, I'll dip a baby rat, and I'll, you know, a rat pup and dip it in like sardine juice, and I rotate them too. They'll eat feeder fish. Um, what else? I've done quail and baby chick with her, so she they eat all of that. I actually want to start
Eventually, over
throwing in
time, you could probably
reptiles.
brewmate him, and then he. I never had luck with the reptiles, but when you brewmate him, when he comes out of brumation, he become a better feeder. So this is my
Okay,
biggest girl right here. This is the one I missed the ovulation on. She's a snow. Um,
she's
we
gorgeous.
bought when she was already 2 years. Yeah, she's super. She was previously named Elsa, and we kept that name. So this is Elsa. She is 580 grams. So she is a huge hog nose.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. She's thick.
And she's a little chunky, but I wouldn't call her obese. I mean, she doesn't really have scale separation or anything like that. And we thought she was pregnant, so we fed her, every 3 days. So that even put more weight on her. But if she
You said
actually
she
was to
was
carry
obese.
eggs, she'd probably be another 100 grams. Yeah, no, she's really big. She's
Yeah, she was
40
like a good
inches.
thick though. She's
So
she's
she's
she's beautiful.
she's a
Yeah.
big snake. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I forgot you. This. There we
Let's
go.
see. Let's
so,
see.
so John, here's that question. You ready?
Yeah, what you got? I'm listening.
What separates you from everyone else?
We ask ourselves that all the time. We always want to be different. Every person that's breeding wants to be different. But, sometimes different is not always better. I mean, I honestly, with KaizenHogs, just want to be a very good, responsible breeder that produces really good quality offsprings. And I want to produce, things that people really enjoy. I don't want to be the guy doing something crazy. I don't want to go against the flow. I want to do what's responsible. And that's kind of the reason why we picked KaizenHogs. We're always learning. We're trying to learn as much as we can, and we're trying to get better. Um, Kaizen is a Japanese term that means always trying to improve, always trying to learn, always trying to be better. And then it's also a business thing over in Japan that it's to be clear and clear business practices and don't try to hide anything. We're not trying to hide anything. We're just trying to be good with the hog noses and produce good, healthy hog noses. Now, I do want people to know me as one of those breeders that produces good, healthy snakes. I don't want to ever have an issue. What's going to step us different than the others is that we're going to try to always be there. We be there if you have questions or need help or anything like that. And if we don't have the answer, I'm not afraid to go ask the people who have helped me the question and then get that back to the customer. I'm also, like I said, I used to work retail. I owned my own store for 13 years plus some. And when I did not have a product in that store, I was not afraid to call the other stores around me to get that
Hmm.
product for my customer. And that's the same. If someone comes to me and says they want a certain hog nose, if I don't have it, if I know someone else does have it and they're a good, responsible breeder, I'm going to give them a call. I'm going to get them to connect it, and I'm going to get the customer the hog nose they want, um, instead of trying to sell them just any snake. Me and my wife. So a little background history about us: we owned a aquarium store for over 13 years, and we love the aquarium hobby. But in the last few years, we just kind of did the same thing over and over and over. And it was time for us to step out of that industry. And when we stepped out of that industry, we didn't really know what we were going to do. And we could easily go get jobs. But at that time, I was into hog noses so much. It was literally a passion for me. And I asked her, I said, hey, do you think maybe we could take this further? And she knows how passionate I'm about it. She really likes the hog noses. And she said, yeah, let's actually figure out how we can do this and let's make this a business. So yes, it is a business where I get to make money. I have to pay for supplies for these snakes. I do have to support my family. But in the end, it's a business that I am more passionate about and that I want to just be involved in. If I wasn't as a business, I would still be here. I will be doing it. And I wouldn't change anything about it. I'd do it the exact same I'm doing it today. For instance, the ARS racks, I had them before I decided to do it as a business. I have them because, in my opinion, they're the best racks for the animals, and I will give them the best. So that's all we're trying to do: be the best for our snakes and for our customer. I'm sorry, I'm watching the chat to see if there's any questions come up here.
The what? On the YouTube app?
Oh, I was reading the chat real quick, see if there was
Oh
any
yeah,
question.
I have
Yeah,
it
I
up too,
have
so I'm
the
trying to tell
YouTube
everybody hello.
pulled on my iPad so I can read it at the same time. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but
so I was like,
yeah, we're just hoping to be good. Now, one thing we do is not only offer good snakes, we like promotional products and do some pretty cool promotional products. We're working on different things right now, you know, cups and keychains and things like that. Hey, Ryan, how has the freeze been? So, Mr. Freeze, let me get him out.
so I want to say, like, when you were mentioning the Eastern Hogs, I do love the Eastern Hogs. I love how red they get. But when she asked, like, would you breed a Western and an Eastern? Because you never know. There's somebody out there that would try to do that. So that's why I was like, that's a good question. Because people out there do some crazy things. So,
There's
but at the
people out
same,
there that do crazy things, and I heard someone say they had a hybrid and show no pictures of. You know, I don't think possible. They're too far apart to hybridize. Um, so Ryan is a friend of mine, and he's asking me how Mr. Freeze, because the story on Mr. Freeze, this is him right here. Mr. Freeze is a breeder male. He's full grown. And about a month back, when we were breeding, he prolapsed his hemipene. He was our first male attempt, and he prolapsed, which is not a common thing. So I think it was his left. Is his right. His right hemipene prolapsed. We caught it a little late. It was starting to up because it got stuck to the spin shavings. We tried sugar water, not go back in. So we inserted it back in ourselves and then treated it with um, antiseptic, and then we come on antibiotics. Part of his laps came back out and dried up and fell off like an umbilical cord. When that happened, another part of his prolapse came back out and dried up and fell off like an umbilical cord. And then the last of his prolapse came out, and it is currently drying up now and fall off like an umbilical cord. Now, when that piece dries off and falls off, it should be healed. So he has lost one of his hemipenes, but he does have the other one. He will no longer probably be a breeder for us just because we don't want to risk it. All of our snakes are pets than they are snakes. So he's lived his life out with us. and we're hoping that he got the job done, and we'll have a Mr. Freeze Jr. to replace him with. But he is an awesome little snake. Spent 14 days on antibiotics, and we keep just watching him, keep everything sanitary, that nothing gets reinfected. Let's see if you can get, so that's the little bit of his prolapse that's left. So unfortunately, we are starting our breeding journey off a little bit on the rough, which, you know, a lot of will cry about. We just said, hey, you know, we experience faster than what we like, but we're learning from it. So one of our first breeding males got a prolapse hemipene, that's common. One of the females might be infertile and missed ovulation. We're not sure about that. We have another female that has most likely egg bound, and we might have to surgery done on that, as right now we're just watching her. So we're hitting a lot of these, you know, beginner problems, and a lot of the problems all first season. So it's definitely challenging. But like I said, we're learning from it, and we're still up to challenge, and it hasn't deterred us in any way. We are still very actively, you know, and
how old are your hognoses?
The possibility that's going to come still for the breeding season that we have. So we have they're all different ages. Most of my breeding hognoses are 3+ years old. Males are 2 years old. Most of them. We do have one male that went into the breeding project. He is almost 2 years old, just 3 months shy, but he's a very large male. And most people are males breeding at 1 year age. We feed our males we feed our females very too. So we grow them very slow. And some males grow very slow. For instance, like this male right here I'm about to show you is 1 year. This is a sunburst conda, or solar. He's pushing maybe.
You said starburst or sunburst?
18 grams maybe. So, in 1 year old, most people would have males already to 80 grams just so that they can breed them. We're gonna weigh him, see how.
Hold on, John. Your screen's like freezing.
He's bigger than I thought. He is 30 grams.
There it is. I don't know. Is it glitching or is it just me? Banna? You're on mute.
It's glitching for me too. Sorry.
Okay. So, John, is there any way you can come back in real quick? Come back in? Because I don't know what's going on.
It's like it just started lagging.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like lagging really bad.
Usually when you hop out and hop back in, it fixes itself.
Let's see.
I hope so. I'm hoping so. Still got a couple of questions.
Yeah, you're not done.
So, but yeah, I was gonna ask him about, like, I like the tricolor hogs. A lot of people don't because they only have a short lifespan. I think they only live like 2 years, if I'm correct, which sucks. But I mean, they're gorgeous. I think they're gorgeous, and they kind of resemblance to me. I feel like they kind of resemblance false water cobras, you know. And I'm starting to fall in love with those things too. I've been looking for a false water cobra, but I want a baby though.
Yeah, I've looked into those too. Those are awesome.
So
I don't know much about hogs, only a little bit, bits and pieces that I've watched on lives and stuff.
I mean, I've had Jeff and I've had other hognose like breeders on, I'll tell that story later. Later, Bosa. Um, uh, but yeah, what was I saying? God dang it, Bosa.
Talking about tri-collared hogs is the last thing you said.
Yeah, I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Thanks, Bosa. Oh yeah, that I had. Okay, so I've done a podcast with like Hognose people before, but I was the host, so I was like asking questions. Same thing like this. I've had Jeff, I've had Nurgle Hogs, I have Mellow Hogs all in one room, and then Abado at the time was barely coming in, and now he's Clover Hogs. So I've had Abado like I know like I actually think I might ask him to host that one and see what he thinks, but we'll see what happens. If not, I'd probably have John host it and let him ask the questions to Jeff and everybody else.
Mhm.
But yeah, so when I first got into the hobby,
Y'all can hear me better, Ness?
uh, still, I mean, I can hear you better, but it's still kind of like delayed. Yeah, so when I got into the hobby, I was trying to feed frozen because everybody was like, "Yeah, frozen's so much better. Don't put live in there with the snakes because they'll eat the snake." So I was like, that kind of scared me. So I went about frozen. And I was like, "Well, how the hell do you unthaw these things?" So I put on a plate and put it in the microwave, and the wrap blew up in the microwave. It was not pretty, not pretty.
That probably wasn't fun to clean either.
Yeah, it wasn't. And I didn't even clean it. I threw it away. I went and bought a new microwave. That's disgusting. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's horrible. It was so embarrassing, and I didn't know, man. Like I was barely coming in. I had so many questions, and it was, like back then, it was hard to ask somebody a question. Be like, well, why are you feeding them live? You know, they're being so judgmental. Like back then, you couldn't really talk to the people the way you do now, and that's what I'm trying to do. And that's why I bring on different people, so we all have because everybody has a different question. It's never the same question.
It's true.
So I don't know. It was just a little harder back then. He still uses the microwave for his guests. No, I don't. No, I don't. It's gone. It's in the trash. And John, so yeah, we're ready to hit that 45-minute mark, guys. But I want to ask John something real quick because I know he's worked with other species, and he's known for another species. Is it okay if I show
Yeah, yeah, you can show the
John?
pictures.
Okay. So John
Yeah,
used to be
yeah.
famous for white alligators. Now, how hard is it to keep an alligator, John?
How hard is it to keep it? I mean, they're kind of
Yeah, like to
bulletproof.
keep one.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you give them the setup that they need, the size, um, I mean, these things have been alive for thousands of years. You can't really mess it up. You give them food and give them space, and they're going to live. Now, there's actually a guy in it's a Colorado Gator Farm. He has alligators that live in the snow, and he has videos, and he keeps them all year long in the snow. And so pretty much they're pretty easy. The main thing you want to do when keeping alligators is not get bit. You know, so and you can tame them down, but they're still alligators. They're still going to try to bite you and different things like that. And when they're smaller, like what I was working with, anything below 4 feet, they're very snappy because they're in that teenager stage, and they're gonna try to bite you constantly. I would walk next to them, and they just jump out and try to bite you. Um, Now, everyone I talk to, when you get them around 6 feet, they mellow out, and they mellow out a lot, and they're a lot easier to handle after that. But they're not a pet. You can't just sit there and hold them and play with them. And we would all do dumb things when we have our animals. Like I go hold my alligator and sit in my rocking chair and pet it. Um, but the honest truth, no one should keep alligators. I got into a program that I shouldn't even have gotten into, honestly. Wildlife and fisheries shouldn't have allowed that, but they did. And that was an awesome experience that I have. And I met a lot of cool people through that because of that experience. And so the white alligator you just showed in that photo,
Which one? This one or
that's
this one?
Lola. That's the same alligator. I only
Okay.
had one white one. I was supposed to have three, but an accident happened. So wildlife fisheries only gave me one. And I had some regular alligators too. So that white alligator that we named Lola actually is now at St. Augustine Zoological Alligator Park in Florida.
Nice.
St. Augustine's Alligator Park is the largest crocodilian park there is. I can't remember how many species they have. They have almost everything. And they're even breeding some things that have never been bred before. And so they do have them. So I got her from a alligator farm that works with actually St. Augustine also to get them more albinos. And then I just happen to have the right contacts to get high enough in wildlife and fisheries to talk to the leader of the alligator program. They told me if I built the facility at my house that they would permit it. I guess they didn't believe that I would build it. So I built the facility before even having a permit. They came out and they permitted it. And then my wife, who agreed that I could do this, because she didn't think nobody would give me anything or permit or anything, I went back to go get the white alligators, which no one believed that they'd give me white alligators because an alligator that size is worth about $40,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, and so they just gave me the white alligators to work with. So people gave me a permit that they shouldn't have given me. People gave me alligators that I should have never got. And it was a very awesome experience. And if it wasn't for the fact that I decided to have a life change, I would still have those alligators. I'd still be living in Louisiana with those alligators.
So this is
Because
your backyard, correct?
that is one part of my backyard. That is a pond. That was in the process of me digging it. We dug that pond. It is about 60,000 gallons. And I hand dug a well that feeds that pond. So there was continuous water going in it and always coming out. I put about 20,000 gallons worth of water in daily and flushed it out. And then I had another pond also that I don't know if you got the photos. That was
This one?
yeah. So that was another pond that was built that is also in construction, and that pond was also had a well on it that pumped water into it. And then they had chain link fence
So
around
this?
it and different things and wooden fence. And that's actually in my garage. That was built for the babies. So that's what we were raising them up in. That is 8 feet by 8 feet with glass sliding doors.
Man, that's amazing though. Like all the work and detail, like people building enclosures. And that's another thing with enclosures too in the hobby now. A lot of people are stepping up with enclosures. They're either going big and when they're going big, they're adding like turf or little ponds in there for them to
Yeah.
have, you
Yeah, they're
know,
going,
they're
yeah,
just going big.
very cool bioactive systems to give them a more realistic environment, which I think is great. I think the whole hobby should be really going that direction. And if I didn't have so many hognoses, every one of them would be in some type of large bioactive enclosure. However, I have so many that the practical reasons we keep them in racks. Now, these are the largest racks that I was advised to keep them in. I wanted to actually get bigger racks. However, ARS told me do not do it, that their racks would actually risk the hog noses getting out, that they have been told that in the larger racks, full-grown hognoses did get out. So I was advised to not go bigger than the 55s. But I still think about doing some type of custom rack myself, and building custom acrylic, I guess not terrariums, but tubs to build racks. One person who's doing cool bioactive racks is Susie. Her hognose tag on Instagram is Show Me Kitties, and
Yes, I know her.
her partner.
She's awesome.
Yeah, I'm blanking on his tag right now. I'll link it later. Two are building. He's building the racks, and she's putting everything together. And it's bioactive with LEDs, and I think put in UV LEDs in them, or they're at least looking into it. But it's really neat, manufactured and created. So
Nice. That's nice, though. I mean, bioactive, I didn't think would work with snakes, but apparently it does. Even for retics, apparently, there's somebody doing one with reticulated pythons. So, and they have having success. So, I
I
feel like,
seen Garrett just from Reach Out Reptiles just posted a new rack something. I don't know. It might not be racks, but I mean it's the tubs. It's from Focus Cube though, and they were fancy looking. They had lights in them, and it had like side view windows and something to look into. I don't know what it was called. It was like their new prototype or whatever, but I know it was from Focus Cube.
oh, for the chondros.
No, it was for the super dwarfs.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
You gotta send me that because that'd be dope to see.
yeah. I'll have to send you the link for sure.
So, what is one thing these animals have done for you that you didn't
yeah,
expect, John?
you know, really, they've de-stressed my life. They've given me stress on their own, with the whole breeding thing. I do stress about, taking care of them properly. At the end of the day, I come in here, I take snakes, I clean, I make sure everyone's healthy, shed correctly, and that has de-stressed my life. They have made it where I can just breathe, and then lately turning it into a business. Most people are stressed out creating a new business. They haven't shut me out. It's actually still relaxed, de-stressed, and it's been great. I wouldn't change it for anything. Um, I think you can work with something that you're really passionate is a great thing.
And then I agree with that too. I'm not gonna lie. That was a good answer, John. And what is one thing? What is one thing? Sorry. What is one piece of advice that you would tell somebody coming into getting hognosis?
One piece of advice: sit back and don't freak. A lot of people, and it was the same way when I first got first hog nose. You want everything to go perfect, and these are living animals, and each one wants things different. I have one snake, and he's the main one who freaked me out when I first got into it. His name is Gobble, and he doesn't gobble nothing. He literally eats once every 2 months. Just how he is. He's fine. He's healthy. He's growing. He just
That's how
knows
mine is.
he is a lean looking snake. Yeah, and that's males are a little bit more commonly gonna give you the longer times, but the advice I would give someone is don't freak out. Go ask on, use the tools that you can, Facebook and Instagram and the Discords and the forums. Ask people this is normal, and if it is, just watch them. Let them de-stress. Let them do their thing. Don't freak out.
Oh yeah, that's a good answer.
And most of it, everything's
Hmm.
fine.
You got a question, Banna?
I think I asked all of my questions. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I was just trying to let you see if you have any questions. If not, before we, get off out of here. Because it's already been like over 45 minutes. I told John over 45 minutes. Um, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for giving me your time. Um,
No
I
problem.
usually do try to keep it at
Yeah, it was
45
my
only.
pleasure. It's all fun to do something like this.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to keep it at 45 minutes only because I feel like people only pay attention to the first 45 minutes versus a 2 hour podcast. Some podcasts have gone an hour and 45 minutes, depends. But uh, my phone's about to die too, so. But I think I have one more question for
Oh
you.
yeah, we don't want that happen.
Oh yeah, so I was gonna ask you about
Yeah.
tricolor hogs. Like, how long is their lifespan? It's 2 years, right?
A little bit more than that. I have heard 2 years a lot, but I think it's 3, 4 years. It's very short, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say they have a very
I don't.
short lifespan.
Again, I don't work with the tricolors. Yeah,
They don't.
and they
You
make
just
up
don't like
for it
them.
by breeding constantly. They don't stop. Actually, I love tricolor. They're very cool. Um, However, I like westerns more. So I decided, you know, I just if I'm going to get a snake, there's other westerns out there that are over a tricolor, and I think tricolors are awesome. Uh, they make great snakes, except being lived. Um, if you plan on breeding them, they never stop. You'll have constant barrage of eggs. But I just think the westerns are where it's they're the best, man. They're the best.
I mean, like I was telling Banna when we had you go back in and out, I was like, the tricolor hogs, I want some, but like I said, the lifespan's short. But then I also want a false water cobra. For some reason, I feel like the hog noses kind of resemblance the false water cobra a little bit because the way the back and place and it looks like a cobra. That's the only reason. And they're also rear fang, I think. False water cobras, I think so. I'm not
I'm
sure.
pretty. I'm pretty
Yeah, I
sure
think
they
false
are.
water cobra are weird. Yeah, they are rear.
Rear fang, right? So that's what it's like. They kind of
They are.
resemble. So I'm kind of like getting into
Mm-hmm.
like false water cobras. Like I want to work on mangroves. All the cooler stuff, a little bit more venomous stuff. But I'm working my way into venomous, like because some of the venomous stuff is gorgeous. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I love some the hots. If I could, I a solid white cobra or a solid black cobra, but I'm not going to do that because I'm too stupid and I'm going to get myself bit. Um, Alligators are a different thing, man. You lose a finger, you move on. You move on, or a viper of some sort, something really hot. It bites you,
That's it.
it's over. Or
Yeah,
it's really bad. And I know I'm too stupid and clumsy and gonna get bit, so can't
that's
do it.
that's called being responsible. It's not being dumb, but at least you're not like you can't do hots because I mean that's a whole another reason I haven't gotten hots because I feel like I'll forget something because I'm very forgetful. I don't forget to close the tank or something. I'm just like but I'll get there eventually.
I
Eventually,
like
but
being able to have my guard down when I'm just chilling with my snakes. I don't want to have to be like
yeah,
paying attention to every move.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know.
I feel you on that. I feel you on that. But at the same time, they're just
yeah.
beautiful.
They are.
What if you just got it just to like have as a showcase animal for your shop or something?
I mean, Tyler Nolan handles his one king
Oh,
cobra by freehand.
Yeah, but that's a monocle cobra.
So
Oh
what's that
man, he
mean?
has a
It's that
bunch of
it's
them. So
dangerous? I'd
Say that
still be
again,
scared to
because I agree.
freehand. I said I'd still be
Yeah.
scared to freehandle a cobra.
Yeah. So before we get on out here, John, what is one thing you would want to be remembered by in this hobby,
You
or
know,
remember for, not by, but remember for?
I guess just I was gonna say sometimes I don't want to be remembered because usually you're being remembered for something stupid you did or bad. But if I was to be remembered for anything, it would be to have healthy hog noses, pretty noses. Actually, I'd like to be the guy to be remembered that has the hog nose on his logo. That's my favorite, and if that's how people recognize me, that's very cool.
I mean, I think you're cool, bro. Like, regardless, I mean, everything that
I
you
love
work
that
with.
snake so much.
I was gonna say everything that you work
Thank you.
with, and then
I love
working
that
with the
snake so
alligators.
much that I get focused. Oh yeah, they're so cool.
Okay, go on. I'm sorry, cause you're like with the leg. I
Yeah,
think you're hearing me at the leg.
oh
But go ahead. You were
yeah,
saying you love
it's
that
getting
snake so much.
choppy. I'm saying with the white with I love that snake so much that the leucistic project, even though people call it a dead end project, we've probably put 20% of racks towards the super arctic leucistic project, and I think they're amazing. They're one of the coolest snakes, hands down. Morph. I know snakes cool because they have patterns and different colors like that, but just a solid crisp white hog nose with those guys will ever convince me to like another snake.
I was gonna say how are
I actually like it,
leucistics?
so I got like 6 of them now.
I was gonna say how are leucistics dead in snakes though? Didn't Show Me Kitties produce leucistics?
So yeah, she produced leucistics, and a lot of breeders are starting to produce leucistics, which is because their prices are coming down. The
Uh,
super Arctic leucistic, I only know of 2 breeders that have produced them. One is JMG, which I have from him, and the one is GM Reptile in the UK. He produced one super Arctic leucistic and one super Arctic leucistic albino, and he sent me his super Arctic leucistic. So I got his, and I got Jeff's. So I got 2 different bloodlines that are pretty outcrossed, and they have multiple males that are from different outcrossed bloodlines. So every leucistic we have except one is non-related to each other uh, enough that they could get back to each other. I mean, they all come from the same leucistic that was in Colorado, but these have all been outcrossed, far away from each other, that I can safely do the visual back to the visual. And eventually I want to create the Arctics just like they did. I actually have no desire to create a albino version. So we're working with just the super Arctic and regular leucistic.
okay, okay. I was like, those are gonna be gorgeous. So when you do produce those,
Yeah, I'm hoping to.
I was like, your screen's like frozen
And
lagging.
by that time, I'm hoping that Jeff and I know it's lagging bad. I don't know what's going on, if it's my internet's
I thought
going
it was
down
me
or
for a second, so I turned off my Wi-Fi, but it's not. No, but you're good. I can still hear you. It's just like when I ask you a question, I think you're catching the lag of it.
Mm.
There you go.
Yeah, check getting a full signal. So
So, do you think that's your most anticipated clutch this season? Your super Arctics you were just talking about?
This so I'm not the super Arctic this season. I'm regular leucistic this season. It's going to be my favorite clutch this season. I thought of the clutches that I'm hoping to have. Most people will be excited about the sunburst stuff because I have a Arctic sunburst conda. I'm breeding with another Arctic sunburst conda, so should get multiple different variations of sunbursts between regular conda, Arctic, regular, and super Arctic. Excuse me.
That'll be cool.
But I think
Oh,
most people
those are
are
gonna
going to
be
be more
dope.
about that. The sunburst is a people's favorite project. Yeah, so that's a lot of people's favorite project. I like them a lot too. Won't lie.
All right. And John, what is your take on USR?
We love US. We do buy a lot of T-shirts from them when we have. We support them when we chance. I actually have a placard that I plan on putting on the wall. That was made by another reptile hobbyist, or not hobbyist, a reptile player. And it's laser cut wood and everything, and we just get painted and put on the wall. But yeah, we love this art. They've done great stuff. If it wasn't for them, we probably not have as much rights as we do with the exotic animals that we love.
So it's funny because. Go ahead, Banna. I'll let you go.
I just said I agree.
Oh, yeah, you're lagging too now. But yeah. So a lot of people will have something different. Like, USARC is not, fighting for our rights. They're fighting for our privilege to keep animals, because it's technically not a right. It's not our right to have them. We just have them. It's a privilege. And a lot of people will fight that because the only reason I say this is because Daniel from Florida USR was saying it during the podcast. Because he was in the podcast and he was saying, like, we're not fighting for your rights. We're fighting for the privilege, for you to handle these animals. And a lot of people would disagree with that, but
Yeah,
a lot of
I
people
think
still say, go ahead. Go ahead, John.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just saying, yeah, I agree with that. This is a privilege to all of these exotic animals that we have. You know, and you can say it's right, but at the same time, other countries do not have to export them to us. Thankfully, houses, the ones I keep, are the U.S., but we got to appreciate what we do, and we just got to appreciate that someone's out there trying to keep it going for us. Because I mean, honestly, with them, we could attack them on how this wording, as much as we want. Without them, we have no one that's really trying to keep going. And if the government's choice, they would nickel dime everything and shut us down from keeping animals altogether. So,
And you're not even lying with that. They're actually trying to do that with
I'm
this, but
glad
I don't
they're
know
doing it.
why. I don't know why. But okay. So before we get on out of here, you got one more question, Banna, or no?
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I need to
Okay,
write
so
down some.
I was like, before we go, I'm gonna ask John my famous question. If you could change one thing in the hobby, what would it be and why? And then when we get on here, if you could leave a positive message for everybody, and then we'll have a good night.
You know, guys, first, I appreciate y'all having me on today, and it's fun. And to answer your question, if I could change one thing in this hobby, I know what would personally change. and that is the ability for people should not be keeping these animals, to keep these vendors that do imports and sell animals very cheap just to make money. Somehow we could actually change that, and that we support and focus mostly on breeders that are responsible and keep all the information going and keep the animals and pass it along. And that is what I'd like to change, make it mostly healthy bred animals.
Okay, I agree. I mean, everybody has their opinion. I mean, I agree because that's why I asked the question, because everybody always has something different to say. It's always something different, and I love that question because everybody gives a different answer. So
Yeah.
but everybody's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're gonna ask your famous question?" So that I always say, "I'm gonna ask my famous question." So, what is one positive message you can say, John, before we head on out of here? Because I didn't. If you did say, I didn't hear it.
I'm sorry, you cut out just now. It looks like the thing went dead and came back. What was that?
Oh, I said, what is your positive message before we head on out of here?
Positive message, treat everyone equally, answer all those questions. We are as newbies somewhere. We're just here to learn. And, the more we learn, the better we all can be.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Banna, do you want to leave a message for everybody? Positive?
Just be kind to people, like Brian Barczyk said.
Be kind.
There's no reason to be nasty about stuff. That's why I don't even like Facebook anymore. I feel like there's so much negativity on Facebook. It just drives me nuts. So I just try to stay off of it. But yeah, be kind to people. There's no reason for the nastiness.
Well, on that note, guys, thank you, John, for coming on. Give me your time. Appreciate you, giving me the time and coming on and talking about hognoses and your alligators, which I didn't know nothing about till we got backstage. So I want to thank you for that. And thank you, Banna, for co-hosting with me tonight. Appreciate you very
no
much.
problem.
Thanks for having me.
Well, on that, you already know what time it is, guys. Y'all have a great night. Don't forget to be nice, lift each other up, check on your loved ones, and y'all have a great night.
Yeah.
Laters, guys.